Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have, well, it doesn't just happen in America, my friends. Dogman attacks in Scotland. Before we get into it, though, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch is displayed directly under this video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook version. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description below. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's upload. Shall we? Alright, guys. 3 or 4 days ago, I had mentioned a subscriber from Scotland who had sent me a photograph. And to me, the photograph shows a field with a deer and what I can make out to be a second deer off to the side, and a very large bipedal figure almost cloaking. To me, and from what her and I we have not talked, we have just chatted on Messenger. To me, it looks like a Dogman cloaking or a Bigfoot cloaking, but from what I'm getting from her, it's a Dogman. I don't know if she saw it with her eyes previous to take the pit from, before, if she saw this figure and then took the picture and that's how it came out, or what. But to me, what that picture represents is the fact that that's probably why we never get clear evidence. That's probably why we don't have a lot of things on Dogman, Bigfoot, what have you. Now, I know at 4 in the morning yesterday, she wanted to chat. I was out like a light. I heard my phone beep, responded. Today, I messaged her. I've got nothing back. I looked to see what time it was in Scotland. It was like 1 in the morning. So, I'm going to, sometime around this time, because mind you, I'm recording this 12 hours before you hear it, try to get in touch with her and get the interview with her. Then I will share the photo. Crazy enough, I messaged her a couple days after she first reached out to me, and I said, hey, I'm going through some health stuff, explained what was going on, and then said, listen, I'd really like to do an interview. What else is, what day works, and she says, Jeff, there's been an attack. And I'm like, what? And it's a very suspicious attack. And this woman is a researcher. I mean, she's just into everything. She talks to people and she's getting the down low on it. So I'm going to share a little bit about the attack, and then I'm going to share a little bit about what she said. And I am not just pulling chain here about talking about the photo, all right? I don't want to share it until I have her on the show. Then I'll share it. I've got it. Nothing's going to happen to this photo. Like all the other times people have said it on the channel, on other channels, this photo is getting freaking shared. I've got it stashed. I've got it saved on multiple different things. I've got it saved on places that are just unsavable. So, no worry about that, alright? Just bear with me. The interview will come with the photo because they go hand in hand. But the attack is what we're going to talk about today. Here is the first news article, January 9th, 2022. Woman found dead with body partially eaten by fox or badger after car broke down. The body of a woman who went missing after her car broke down was discovered partially eaten by wild animals. The 55-year-old woman, who has not been identified, had walked away from her Citroen car when it broke down near Moncton, Ayrshire in Scotland, less than a week before Christmas. A missing person inquiry was launched after the woman's car was found on a country road. It is understood that the woman from Airdrie area began walking through fields near the Ayrshire village on the 18th of December after phoning for a car recovery service. Her body was found the following day about a mile from her car with help from a sniffer dog. Police confirmed on Monday that her death is not being treated as suspicious. Officers who discovered the body said it had been partially eaten by wildlife. It is believed that badgers or fox may have been responsible for the mauling. A source told the Daily Record she had phoned the AA to try to get them to come and help, but rather than wait with the vehicle, she got out and walked away, cutting through fields. She's then died while she had been going through the fields. A Police Scotland spokesperson said at around 11:20 p.m. on Saturday, December 18th, police were called to report a possible abandoned Citroen car found on an unclassified road near Moncton. Officers attended, and the initial investigation failed to trace the registered keeper, and officers started a missing persons inquiry. Around 4:55 p.m. on December 19th, Sunday, officers searching for the missing 55-year-old woman found a body in the field approximately 1 mile from where the car was discovered. The death is not being treated as suspicious, and a report was submitted. Second news article, January 10th, 2022. A missing Scot driver was found dead in a field after her body was mauled by animals. It is understood the 55-year-old woman walked away from her car when it broke down. She started to walk through the fields near Moncton, Ayrshire, when she phoned the AA for help. A missing persons inquiry was launched after her Citroen was found on the road. The woman, who has not been identified, was from Airdrie area, and officers had to trace her on December 18th, but could not locate her. The day after, the body was found by a sniffer dog 1 mile away from where the car was abandoned. It is believed that the police who discovered the woman's body said it had been eaten by wildlife. They believe a fox or badger may have been responsible. Her death is not being treated as suspicious, and a report has been submitted to the Procurator Fiscal. A source told the Daily Record that the woman started cutting through fields while waiting for AA rather than staying in her car. They added, she then died while she was going through the fields. A Police Scotland spokesperson said at around 11:20, Saturday the 18th of December, police were called to a report of a possible abandoned Citroen car found on an unclassified road near Moncton. Officers attended, and the initial investigation failed to trace the registered keeper, and officers started a missing persons inquiry. At around 4:55 on Sunday, 19th of December, officers searching for the missing 55-year-old woman found her body in a field approximately 1 mile from where the car was discovered. The death is not being treated as suspicious. So then a little communication between her and I. And I get her response. This group over here thinks the same as I do. Also, farms around us at this time of year lose a few sheep. They say definitely not foxes, as sheep are gutted and left, so that's got to be something big. My partner over the years have lost chickens out of their coop, only they were locked. He does not keep chickens anymore. That's an interview I'm looking forward to. But what I want to do is I want to touch bases on how wacky this case is. All right? And how it resembles a case of Dr. Nancy Shaw in Georgia. Very simply put, the woman's car broke down. I'm wondering if they even tried to start the car, first of all. Two possible theories with Dogman being related to this case, okay? All with the same ending. Car breaks down, woman pulls over. Woman then makes the call to AA, kind of lets them know, hey, I'm at this location. Can you please send a tow truck or a mechanic to come out and look at my car, get it fixed, and get me out of here, please. Takes a while. She gets out of her car, gets startled by something, then starts running through fields, okay, and is attacked savagely and left for dead. Second is the woman's driving down this road, sees some sort of hurt animal or an animal walking, possibly like the ambulance, possibly like Nancy Shaw, who knows? We weren't there. Gets out to see if the animal's okay. It gets up, chases her through the field, and boom. Same outcome. Why would she get out of her car and start walking through a field? She was found a mile away from her car, first of all. Her car was found on the 18th. She was found on the 19th. So, I mean, I'm thinking, what was that? Like, they were out there at 11:20 p.m. She was found less than 24 hours later. With commotion going on, because you know there was commotion. So how could what killed her first? They're not telling us that. They're not saying she died of it. So we don't know why she started running through the field, which is very mysterious. We don't know what killed her. And yet she's partially eaten, but we're going to blame it on badgers and fox. Excuse me? Is anyone else not seeing this is just not adding up? Because, you know, where I'm from, and I don't know if the Scottish police are the same, but where I'm from, 2 and 2 do not make 16. They make 4. None of this makes sense. And if you're a Scottish police officer and listening to this channel, I apologize. That was not an insult. Chances are you probably weren't working this case, because if you were, well, I don't know what your government said to you. But anyway, moving on off that subject. So they found her less than 24 hours. That, you know, there was lights going on. I don't know about helicopters, but probably some yelling. You know, whatever her name is. Hey, are you okay? Hey, we're here to help you. That probably would have scared off any kind of wildlife. My thing is she was a mile from her car cutting through fields. Why? Why wouldn't she just stay on the road? If she was walking, why not stay on the road? Unless she gets out of her car. This large bipedal creature comes up and starts chasing her through the field, and then savagely attacks her, partially devours her, and leaves and moves on his way. Now, this area is farmland. I Google Earthed it. It's farmland. There's hedgerows. There's some forest. It's actually a perfect location for a Dogman, to be honest. I mean, if I have not, I've seen, this is a perfect location. Perfect. You got farm animals, you've got wild animals, fresh water, shelter. The three things they need. And then, oh, here comes the big meal. So, besides the running through a field for a mile not making sense, blaming on fox and badger while there is a ongoing investigation looking for this woman out there, because fox are skittish. Anywhere, any part of the world, a fox is skittish. Badgers, I'm not sure, but I don't think they're gonna stay snacking on someone's left toe while a police officer is hollering for the woman. You know, that doesn't make sense. So, also, we're just finding out about this case now. This happened almost a month ago, 3 weeks ago. That doesn't make sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Plus, the woman's name isn't mentioned at all, which I can respect, actually. I can respect that, but not really. I understand the privacy, but it is public record. So yeah, my theory on this is that her car broke down. She called AA, said, hey, I'm over here in Moncton on Ayrshire. Car broke down. I got a Citron. Can you send a tow truck or a mechanic out to help me get me out of here? It's kind of dark. And maybe she got out of the car to just pop the hood. Look, who knows? And the Dogman stumbled upon her and chased her through the field. Because any logical person would either stay in their car, or if they were going to walk, either walk the way you came or the way you're going. Eventually you're going to come to a house. It's not just our government. It's all governments do it. They just don't want the public to know. And honestly, I mean, I think even though it happened in Scotland, I think our government has the most pull on everybody. Because if you think, if Scottish news let it go, or any country's news let it go, old police officer United States here would be like, hey, you can't put that in your news. You don't want to do that. We don't want our public to know about Dogman. So, I don't know. Doesn't make sense, does it? No. So, on top of discussing, well, this case here with this woman, because she's very familiar with the area, obviously, we are going to discuss that day she was able to take the picture. The reason why I say I feel like it's cloaked is because it's blurry. The deer doesn't notice it. It's unbelievably, it's a cool picture, but you can identify a large bipedal creature in some sort of cloaked form behind the deer. I cannot wait. I really, really cannot wait for this interview with her because it's going to be killer. I have the feeling that it is going to be so cool. I'm so excited. So to fill in the gap with the time left, let's hit a state. Now I'm going to jump into Delaware because Delaware comes after Connecticut alphabetically. I have 2 encounters from Delaware, and I'm only going to share one because I shared the other just recently about the hunter from Pennsylvania who shot and killed a Dogman. But this is the second subscriber Delaware encounter. Hey Jeff, the year was 2003. I was 16 or 17 years old at the time. My best friend at the time, Brendan, was living out in Long Neck, Delaware with his older brother and wife. I lived and still do live in a town in the lower eastern shore of Maryland. I was working at a grocery store at the time and was the only one of us 2 with a vehicle and a driver's license. I made frequent trips to his house to hang out and pick him up. I traveled from US 50 to Route 113 in Delaware, through Pittsville, through Gumbo, to Millsboro, Delaware, and so forth to get to Long Neck. I made this many times that summer and nothing crazy ever happened until one night when we were coming back from Delaware heading to Maryland and passing through the general area of Gumboro, Delaware. It was fully dark at this point. My guess was it was around 10 to 11 p.m. when all of a sudden a creature from our left side crosses, running out from a field, crossing the road directly in front of my car within 20 feet of us. At the time, I had never heard of or even imagined such a thing, a Dogman, so it didn't really have a word to describe it. It was about as tall as my lower windshield, running on all fours. It was a reddish-brown color, had a canine hyena-like head, but was much bigger than any average dog. In size, it was comparable to a small bear or a big buck. It cleared the double solid line road and ran off into the forest on our right in about 2 strides. It was lightning fast. We only got a glimpse of it for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and it was gone. I looked at Brendan and said, "Dude, did you see that?" He said, "Yeah. WTF was that thing?" I replied, "It's a bear deer monkey." I wasn't a scary encounter like most people experience, but more of a laughing matter. Even though it was only a few seconds of my life, I'll never forget the most bizarre creature I'd ever laid my eyes on. Years later, I found Dogman here on YouTube and have been hooked ever since. I believe now that's what I saw. I've also ran across encounters of Dogman in the state of Delaware and in my area in Maryland. Oddly enough, one was seen in what I would say was the other side of that same area of woods that the creature I saw run into over by Harrington, Delaware. I also heard of a story where a Dogman was on a farm in the lower eastern shore of Maryland, but they didn't give the actual name of the town. It's crazy to think these creatures are here in my stomping ground, especially living on a peninsula that's mostly surrounded by water. I may go looking for new stories daily, but I can't say with certainty that I'll ever go into the woods looking for one. Thanks for helping me share my story, and if anyone else has any encounters on the Delaware Peninsula, please let us know. All right, guys. Like I said, I cannot wait until this interview. I'm going to try to get it done today, and get it up for tomorrow because I am excited about sharing it. I just don't want to share the picture without having her side of the story. I can't tell a story about someone else's picture better than they can. Also, I'd like to have her input on what is going on in her surrounding area. Obviously, there is something going on, and it's just crazy to me that it is not just our government, that it seems like all of the world doesn't want us to know that these things exist. So, anyway, we are done with the state of Delaware. The next state encounter upload will be Florida. And moving along, trucking through the states, my friends. And with that, I hope you enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you all. Also, I'd like to encourage everyone to be kind to each other. And may the Great Spirit watch over all of us. And may He guide us on this path that we call life. Until tomorrow, my friends.